TeadsAdChoicesADVERTISINGinRead invented by TeadsAdChoicesADVERTISINGinRead invented by TeadsSouthgate, who was 16 at the time, walked off in tears, and Smith, Palace's team manager, remembers he too was upset because he genuinely liked the quiet, middle-class kid from Crawley. Already rejected by Southampton and facing the exit at Palace, Southgate took the words on board, knuckled down, and came through to eventually become skipper at the South London side and an England international. Smith believes that those knocks, and plenty that came later, like missing that infamous penalty for England in the Euro '96 semi-final against Germany and being sacked as manager of Middlesbrough, have instilled a steely inner core in the England manager that is hidden by a mild, intelligent demeanour, and which will stand him in good stead in Russia. Smith, a Southgate friend and mentor for more than 30 years, the pair still speak several times a week, said, "I did say that to him. He left a bit tearful and I was tearful myself because he was a very nice lad. But everybody was treated the same then. It was a hard school. If you didn't wake up to the reality of life, you were in trouble." Gareth, when he first came, was very quiet, a bit despondent after being released by Southampton. "I knew that he was an academic. He could have stayed on and done his A-levels. He was not one of those that came in and made a big noise. We had players like John Salako and Richard Shaw in the same year. They were ahead of Gareth in terms of whether they were going to make it to me at the time. At Palace in those days there was no real youth setup. It had been disbanded and we had to start from scratch. We were competing with clubs like Chelsea. We had so few boys that some had to play in the youths and the reserves on the same day. Gareth was one of them. There were a lot of lads there from maybe tougher backgrounds, who really fought to make it. They were realists, they knew what it was about. Gareth was different, but he mucked in. He was popular, he took what I said on board. He was always a good athlete and he made sure he was at the front of all of the runs. In the end, he was captain of the youth team, captain of the reserves. He had senior players in there with him, much more experienced, but he coped. Southgate was natural captain material, and when Smith took over as Palace manager from Steve Capel in 1993, he immediately handed the 22-year-old the job, and his side won promotion back to the Premier League. Smith said, "Gareth was great in the changing room. One time at Southampton we had a terrible first half and I walked in to see him swinging punches at another player because he didn't feel he was giving 100%. That is a side of him that people have not seen. You don't get to be captain at Palace, Aston Villa and Middlesbrough under different managers and not have some kind of leadership quality." The key to the Southgate character, though, lies in a character forged by never having it easy. Gareth has always been underestimated, as a player and as a manager. Until now, said Smith. He was rejected by Southampton, had to fight for it at Palace, he was hurt when he lost the Borough job. All that scarred him a bit made him harder. No one has given it to him easy. His polite manner shields quite a hard person. Smith, who Southgate took with him as director of football when he landed the Middlesbrough manager's job, likes the way his former pupil has tried to run England. He has tried to bring a club spirit back, with players that want to play for England, said Smith. He wants players who want it and enjoy it. They trust him, because some were with him with the under-21s. He tries to look outside the pitch with players, and that makes him a person you as a player are going to fight for.